All right, Shalom, Shalom, Yisrael, Koholoi, Malaya, Hawa, Bahashem Yahweh Bahashem Hakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to the elect Akim across the globe that are doing the work in truth and in sincerity and in charity. And Shalom to the few sincere Aqua that are watching, listening, and learning. All right, this is Daniel Abba here from the GMS Chicago camp. Lord willing, coming back at you with another edifying video. All right, and saw this on the news. All right, more Americans buying groceries on credit, man. All right, I'm not gonna play the whole video. Probably play a minute or two of it, man. But this place is through, man. America's done. All right, there's no more American dream. All right, people can't even afford to buy groceries, man. Now they have to use a credit card in order to feed themselves and feed their family, man, and then pay it off later, man. All right. Hey, America's a third world country. All right. But I'm going to play the video and get right into it.
Welcome back to the Takeout. Welcome to the Conversation Corner. More Americans, it's an interesting trend, are resorting to buying groceries on credit. According to the Urban Institute, more than 1 in 3 adults use credit cards to buy their groceries, and nearly 1 in 10, listen to this, use buy now, pay later loan programs. Michelle Singletary recently covered this for the Washington Post, and she joins me now. So I know it's not unheard of, Michelle, for people to use credit cards to occasionally buy groceries. It can be for convenience or other things like that. But this looks like something a little bit more persistent and a behavioral reflection of high prices.
Yeah, that's very true. In fact, quite a bit of people use credit cards to buy groceries. About almost 35% of Americans use credit cards. Now, many of them do pay it off before the due date, but a growing number, almost 20%, can't pay it in full. They at least make the minimum payment, but they can't pay it in full. And approaching 10%, it's about 8.7%, but it's being pushed up, aren't even making the minimum payment. And that's when it becomes a problem. People put it on their credit card, pay it off, get the reward points, whatever, okay. But it's the people who are putting it on there because that's the only way they can afford to put food on their table. And the problem is if you only make the minimum payment or you don't make payment at all, now you're in debt, sometimes, years and years in debt for food that you have long ago consumed.
It's crazy. And I know too, recently Trump made major changes with the SNAP link card benefits. Basically, I was on it too. Last year I had a job that was paying me cash, and was working under the grid, and I was collecting SNAP, and I was getting it for a good 6 months, and I was getting some decent money for myself. And Trump made a big change, and I was getting around $300 a month too. Now I was getting about $25 a month for food. And, it was a big difference, man. But I'm sure a lot of these people that were on SNAP felt that big difference, man,
About buy now, pay later loans, that sounds like a dire behavioral adaptation.
Yeah, when that program was introduced, buy now, pay later, the idea was that you would buy, maybe a dress or something or a couch. You had the money coming and it was, you were to break the payments up. But when you use things like, use that for groceries, and it's an ongoing thing, because then you take out one loan and then you take out another and it's compounded. That's when it really becomes a problem. And listen, quite a few people, more than 5%, are using payday loans to buy their groceries. So this says what the Urban Institute is concerned about, and what we all should be concerned about, is that there is a great deal of Americans who are struggling so much that they have to buy their groceries on credit. And we understand paying for your car repair on credit, but grocery, consumable goods like that, it just is a recipe for disaster for the future. Because if your money is obligated to these credit payments, that means you can't save. That means if you lose your job, now you don't have an income and you have this debt. That is why it's a problem when you look down the road, because it prevents them from doing things. And we know that that in order for this economy to continue to grow, we need people to be free of debt and the ability to buy things and pay them off and save to send their kids to college or save for retirement.
Yeah, that's it up one. I'm gonna play with that. But America's through, man. All right. Let's see what AI says. Yeah, as a July 2026 report by the Urban Institute reveals that millions of Americans are increasingly relying on credit cards, buy now, pay later loans, and personal savings to afford basic groceries, driven by a 32% spike in grocery prices over the past 5 years. This shift highlights severe financial strain extending beyond low-income households into the middle and high-income brackets, man. So, hey, America's through, man. Got one precept in mind, and whatever the Spirit gives unto me. But, Ecclesiastes 12. Before I get that, I think there's one in Baruch. Salakia. Maybe. Bear with me, brother Salakia. I know there's one in Baruch, basically buying your things in measure. I think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's Baruch 4. Is it 5? But man, I don't know. But I'm just gonna grab this in Sirach chapter 12 and verse 4 or verse 3, and it reads, "In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are few." And the keepers of the house trembling is talking about these elites. Right? They know the prophecies are coming. They know that with their Israelites, they see that their kingdom is coming down, and they're trembling because there's nothing they cannot do about it. And the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are a few. And that's what you see happening with the U.S. economy, with this war going on in Iran. All of that stuff that's going on in the Middle East is affecting us in our day-to-day lives, man. All right, and a lot of factories, warehouses, retail shops are going out of business, man. All right, there's less and less people without jobs, and those that looked out the windows be darkened. And hey, the future of America is dark, man. All right, people can't even afford to feed themselves and their family, and hey, they're using credit cards to feed their family, and they gotta pay it later. And some, I'm sure, they don't even pay it, man, because they don't have money. So, hey, this American dream is over, man. It's a nightmare. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of the music shall be brought low. All right, and they, you're going to wake up in the morning, and there's not going to be any work. You're not going to hear the construction workers, all right, the commute to work, the subways, the trains. All right, it's all going to come to a halt, man. All right, this economy is about to burst. The big bubble's about to burst, man. All right, and hey, today's music, in the last part says, "And all the daughters of music shall be brought low." Today's music is garbage, man. All right, it's not like how it used to be, man. But yeah, America's through. Take a look at this. All right, just thought I'd show this quick video with you, brothers. All right, we're coming into some hard times, man. But hey, call la Yahweh Shema Shai, double honor to the apostles, salutations to the elect. Till next time, shalom, and a baba ball.